Old gardeners never die, they just go to seed. No. Okay. Hey guys, it's Grace. Welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry I did not have a video up last week, but I am currently home right now. I got home from college and it's been a crazy week. I did not have time to film. I started working this week. I'm working at a counseling office doing a lot of shredding and just uploading files and stuff like that, which I talked about in the vlog that I've been doing this past week, since I felt like I kind of wanted to show you guys what's been going on. That should be up probably after this video on like Tuesday or something like that. And yeah, this video is going to be a kind of freshman year reflection, my freshman year experience of college, and I just wanted to come on here and do this to reflect and for memory purposes, and also for any of you guys who are going to be freshmen next year. You can kind of see what the experience will be like or could be like for you and how I dealt with it. So basically, before I get into what I want to talk about, I wanted to talk about basically where I went to college, or briefly explain to you how far away and that kind of stuff. So the college that I went to is in my state, and it is not far away from my house. It is an hour away from my house, so I didn't go super far for school, but it was far enough away where I could come home and grab things if I wanted to, and come home on the weekends if I wanted to, but I also was able to be far enough away that I didn't commute, and my parents would just like randomly show up on the weekend to come visit me. So I definitely think that in deciding where you want to go, you have to think about those factors. I thought I wanted to go to a place that was very far away from my home, and I'm glad I didn't, but I think I also would have been fine if I did. It just didn't end up working out that way. Obviously, if you go somewhere that is out of your state, it's going to be more expensive because you will not be paying in-state tuition. You have to think about all those things when you are applying for colleges and figuring out where you want to go. So basically, I'm going to talk about some positives, some negatives, and some plans for next year, next semester. I'll go through my negatives first. I feel like I should start with the negatives and then move to the positives. So obviously, my first one is there was a lot of stress, especially a change in environment and stuff like that. I didn't have a super hard time with the change, again, because I wasn't that far away from home, but I didn't go home on the weekends for quite a long time. I think it was about 7 weeks, so maybe half of the semester almost, before I actually made it home, and I didn't really go home that often this semester either. So I think just deciding, I think if you don't go home, it's a lot easier to make friends and stuff on the weekends and hang out with people. My roommate went home almost every single weekend and she didn't really make that many friends. Okay, I'm just gonna talk over my dog. And my roommate is not coming back to college next year. There's some other reasons. She was a business major, which isn't really necessary to like go to a big college for. You can definitely go to community college or something like that, get that degree. So she's gonna do that, but I definitely think that going home kind of narrows your friend group and doesn't allow you to be social and meet people. But anyways, back to stress. There was a lot of stress, especially for me during finals time and memorization and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different for me because I am an acting major. So I have to have all these monologues memorized and do all that, and then I also have tests and normal finals to do. So I have performances, which are a whole nother level of stress on their own, and the stress of memorizing things and getting them right, versus just a normal final. Another negative was that you don't see your friends as much as you would have in high school. So like in high school, you're there for 6 or 7 hours of the day and you see your friends like in your classes or in the hallway in between or at lunch or whatever. So you're seeing them like pretty often every day. Whereas a lot of my classes I didn't have friends in, or I'd have friends in all my classes one day and then I wouldn't see them the next day for those classes. So it's just one of those things where you have to put in more effort into the relationships that you make in college because you're not seeing those people every day. So it's not like you're just friends because you see each other all the time. You actually have to find the people that you're going to put the effort into to have a strong friendship or relationship. A lot of my high school relationships or friendships were kind of lost. I think they're okay, but it's obviously not at the closeness level that it was before. So that was kind of a different transition for me. I also just didn't put in really the effort to keep those friendships. A couple of my friendships, like most of my friendships, are still okay, but we're just not as close as we used to be, which is totally fine, but it's just like, it's kind of weird. But if you want to keep those relationships, you have to put the effort in. I definitely wasn't as social in college, so if you don't really like to party, at least at the school that I go to, there's not really many opportunities to meet people and be social. And I also don't really like to hang. We have this lounge in the theater building, and a lot of the theater kids hang out in there in between classes and do homework, and I'm just not one of those people that likes to do that. I like to go back to my room and relax and do my homework in my room. So that was definitely something that was weird to me because I wasn't being as social and I wasn't meeting as many people and I wasn't really putting myself out there as much, which isn't a good thing, but it also wasn't like a horrible thing because I still made friends and I still know a lot of the theater people and have great relationships with them. Oh my god, there's so much work. Holy shit. There's so much work. Again, like I said, I kind of have a different situation because I am a theater major, and so I have all this like different work and like rehearsals and stuff that most people don't normally have, unless you're playing a sport. It's similar to playing a sport, but yeah, so there's a whole nother dynamic, and you have to fit in homework between all of your rehearsals and your memorizing and all that kind of stuff, and it gets to be a lot after a while. And a lot of the classes, you know, if you're taking a couple of English classes, then you have to write like multiple papers at a time, and the papers are a lot longer because you're older, so they're holding you to a higher standard. And it wasn't necessarily difficult for me, but it's just a lot more work and it takes a little bit to get used to. The last negative I have is moving freaking sucks. So when you're in a dorm and when you're in college, you're constantly moving. You put your stuff in the dorm the first day. I was on the 7th freaking floor, so we had to lug all of my stuff up the goddamn flights of stairs for that time. And then when I moved out, at the end of the semester, I had to lug all my stuff down. Thankfully, they actually had the elevator and there weren't super amounts of people in there, but it's literally ridiculous. Like, you have to move your stuff in at the beginning of the year, then you have to move some of your stuff out for the winter because we had like 6 weeks of winter break, so you have to take a lot of your stuff home, and then you have to move your stuff in after that, and then you have to move everything out at the end. And then you have to do it all over again the next year. Moving on to some positives. One of them is that I love the program that I'm in and working on the shows. So I haven't had a lot of experience being in shows this year. I was in a performance of the Vagina Monologues, but that wasn't like directly through the school. So that was through a girl who was a part of this group called Voices Against Violence, and they work to reduce sexual abuse and help out with victims of sexual abuse and their families and that kind of stuff. So we did that as like a benefit for that, but that wasn't directly through the school, and we did it at a church in the area. But I just have really enjoyed working on shows. I've gotten to work on one show as the projection like person, and then on another show painting all of the sets. So not just one show, but that was like for a semester. So with that experience, it got me to be involved with the shows without actually really being in them, which was really nice, which I like that they do that with a lot of the freshmen. And, you know, everyone has to do these things called practicums where you do tech work on a show. Anyways, but that just really got me into the program and got me used to everything, and I really, really, really like the program and the people in it. Friends are a positive. So I've met a lot of new people. I didn't really know anyone except for my roommate and a couple of other people that were going to this school, but I didn't know anyone in the theater program. So I met 3 of my best friends now, and I'm living with one of them next year, and the other 2 are living across the hall, so we worked that out. And I met a lot of other people that I'm really close with, and just people that I know pretty well and really like to talk to, and yeah, friends are just awesome. Another positive is I was able to do whatever I wanted, so no curfew, there's no real rules, and you can just kind of do whatever you want. Obviously, you have to be responsible, because if you do stuff that's illegal and you're not responsible about it, then you're going to get in trouble. But I think just having that freedom to like not really have to go inside when my parents want me to, and like do things that my parents don't necessarily like know about or anything like that, like that was just great to have that freedom, especially being back here now. Like, it's an adjustment. You go to school, you figure out like a routine of what you can do, and then you come back here and you're like, oh yeah, like I have to follow my parents' rules now. It's not a bad thing, but it's just definitely an adjustment period to get used to. The work definitely was not as tedious, so schoolwork wise, I was interested in the things that I was doing, the classes that I was taking, so the schoolwork didn't seem as tedious, and they don't really have tedious assignments in college. Like, everything is worth a grade, everything goes towards your grade, at least in the classes that I've been taking at my college. Even attendance is worth part of your grade, so like if you don't show up, your grade is going to go down. So that was definitely a lot better for me, because I'm one of those people that hates tedious work and hates when things aren't moving towards a goal, and it's just boring to me and it's completely pointless. I also, along with that, got to take the classes that I wanted. For the most part, we have to take gen eds, but you can obviously select your gen ed from a bunch of different ones and find one that interests you. And I'm taking theater classes and psychology classes and dance classes, which are all something that I'm really passionate about and interested in. And there's no real class that's like, I have to take this and I absolutely hate it. We have a little bit of a selection between, you know, if you have to take a math class, you can kind of choose one that's more suited to what you're interested in, which is awesome because you can't really do that in high school. At least you couldn't at my high school. The last positive thing was it's a new place and it's also a new experience. So it's really awesome to be able to experience something new and experience change, and that's just a positive in general, is being in a new place and being able to adapt to the environment and just have new things coming at you and just experiencing it. So my plans for next year / this summer, so I'm working at the counseling center, as I said, this summer, which is kind of awesome because it's almost like an internship, but not really. Like, I'm getting paid to do it, but I get to experience the environment of the counseling center, and I obviously get to like see a lot of the forms that they use and that kind of stuff, and the problems that can arise with people. And like, I can't say anything, I have to be confidential about any of the patients or anything that goes on there, but it's a really great experience, especially being interested in psychology and wanting to major in psychology as well, majoring in psychology. It's a great experience to have, to be able to work in there. I will also be babysitting this summer, so there's a little girl also named Grace. It is the daughter of one of the ladies who works at the counseling center, and she needs me to take care of her, so we're gonna have a lot of fun. I start that next week after Monday, so I start on Tuesday, and yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun, and we're just gonna have a good time and hang out and go places, so I'm super excited about that as well. And later this summer in July, I'm going to be going back to NSLC. So I did a video on my channel a couple years ago about my NSLC experience, and it actually helped out a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of comments on it and stuff about it, so I'm really glad I made that video. But I'm going to be going back this summer to the acting intensive to be a TA, so if any of you are going to the acting intensive, please let me know, because I will be your TA. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. I will probably do another video about that. I might do some packing videos, stuff like that. It's gonna be a little different because obviously I am now a counselor, so it's gonna be a different experience, but I'm super excited about that. And then next fall, and next year, so next fall I'm going to be in a show of Much Ado About Nothing. Super excited about that. It's my first show at the college that I'm at, and I'm really, really, really excited to be working on that. Also, my 3 best friends are in that show as well, so I'm super hyped to be working on that with them. And then I'm also going to be working in the costuming shop at the college. I think that's for the whole year. I'm not exactly sure, but I think she hires for the whole year. So we're going to be doing that, and I'm very, very excited about that as well. A little bit nervous, but I'm sure that'll be fine. Okay, so that's basically my whole video. Overall, it was a pretty positive experience. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of negatives and adjustment changes. Like, it takes time, but don't be afraid if you are going to be a freshman next year, and just enjoy your time because it went by really, really fast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below for more. If you'd like to, you can check out my previous video on this side of the screen and my previous vlog on that side of the screen. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.